Yes. So I think it's really interesting because I've been in this space for 15 years, talking about parents and digital parents. And you can really see the shift in legislation, right? So with the UK Online Safety Act and the California Age Appropriate Design Code, before we would talk about like what, and we would talk about, blocking content and things like that. And now you see the shift more to how. So like product by design, safety by design. So it's really interesting. And what does all this mean for parents is that we see this role shifting. And so parents are no longer sort of the internet police, the cyber cops of their children, but they're really becoming more digital mentors, digital guardians, and that is exactly where we want them to be. So this whole idea of collaborative oversight is really crucial. And one of the things I've seen in my role as global head of parental advocacy at Roblox is that we are really looking to create partnerships with parents and caregivers. So it's kind of moving away from this idea that platforms can just be on and off and you just toggle here and it's done, but really kind of scaffolding the autonomy so that way parents can really work with their children. They can talk about shared dashboards, they can have check-in prompts and conversations. And really, you can help your child. Our goal is to help parents understand that there are graduated permissions, right? So when your child is doing one thing when they're age 6 to 9, it might be different for 9 to 12, and it's just not a one button thing for all ages. And so I think that one of the most exciting things is having this partnership again with parents and caregivers, and I think all platforms should be doing this. So starting with like having parent councils because we've started the very first one, and I think it should be the gold standard where now platforms are really co-designing and co-creating with parents who have so much at stake, and they really do want to raise digital citizens, but they need some support. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think two things come quickly to mind for the biggest misconceptions about online safety tools. One is this sort of idea that you can just set it and forget about it, right? You just toggle it once and it's one and done, and your child is safe forever. The platform is locked down, and it's just no. And so a lot of parents believe that once they install parental control apps or filters or whatever, that that everything is locked down, and that's not true. And not only that, your children can go around, they can circumvent parental controls. And what I always tell people is that even if your device for your child is locked down, they can still look over the shoulder of somebody else and see that content that we don't want. So it's not about the parental controls, it's about parental guidance. And so that's where parents have to really still monitor, be with your children, have those critical conversations and critical thinking. The second one, I think, is this idea that monitoring, again, this that once we set parental controls, that monitoring automatically equals safety. I think there's a big difference between just watching what your child does, that sort of monitoring them, as opposed to mentoring them, teaching them what they should do. And I think a lot of parents think that just because they know their child's password, that, oh, it's everything's safe, they've got it. And it's not exactly like that. So I think this whole idea of digital mentorship is really important. So those are the two myths that I think of. Yes, that they want to set it and forget it, and that they think that monitoring means everything's safe. Total myths. Ooh, the one piece of advice to platforms is I would say to help parents understand what the platform is, to help parents understand the benefits of this online space. I'm sorry, it's not just one piece of advice, it's a lot of advice. But to keep that humanity going, let's not just because tech is out there and just because we can do something doesn't mean that we should do it. So keep that humanity in check. And really, let's try to make things easier for digital families, not harder. Ooh, yay! So I love the Trust and Safety Summit because one, I get to network and see all of my friends in this space, and it's really wonderful to be with, I won't say like-minded individuals, but I think we're all there with the same passion and having those different conversations and having different point of views and exchanging those perspectives is just huge. And I really I wouldn't even say networking because it's not even that. It's making those connections again because networking always has negative connotations and it's not that. It's connecting.